Unit 1. Teaching Skills. Using Songs and Chants. For the first task, ideally with a partner, but you can think about this on your own, consider the following questions. What are the benefits of using songs in the classroom? And what is the best way to introduce a simple song? Pause the video and do this now. Jot down some notes. Songs tend to be repetitive and have a strong rhythm. They are easily learnt by primary children and quickly become favourites because of their familiarity. They are fun and motivating for children. They allow language to be reinforced in a natural context, both with structures and vocabulary. All songs build confidence in young learners, and even shy children will enjoy singing or acting out a song as part of a group or whole class activity. This also develops a sense of class identity. Children are often proud of what they have learnt and will like having the opportunity to show off what they have learnt to friends or family. Many songs can help develop memory and concentration, as well as physical coordination, for example, when doing the actions for a song. For the teacher, songs can be a wonderful starting point and can fit in well with topics, skills, language, and cross-curricular work. So, why do we use songs when teaching young learners? Well, there are many reasons. Children like songs. They're interesting, motivating, and can be easily integrated into language learning. Students practice their listening skills as well as singing and doing activities incorporating TPR, total physical response. Because of the rhythm and repetition, the chunks of language found in songs make them easier to imitate and remember. In addition, the learners are exposed to words and high-frequency expressions. Combined with the repetitious nature of songs, this aids in language acquisition. Songs are also useful when it comes to pronunciation, in particular word stress, intonation patterns, weak forms, and linking. They're also very useful in mixed ability classes. Lower level learners can demonstrate understanding by just doing the actions, where more advanced learners can sing along or make up their own words. Songs are also useful in marking the different stages of a lesson. You could start the class every week with the same song and end it with another. You can mark steps of the lesson, like taking your books out or putting the books away. Songs can also help you get the students' attention. If you have a particularly rowdy class, you can start singing, and as they notice, one by one, all the students join in until all of them are singing. Why else do we use songs? Because children naturally have a lot of energy and enjoy making noise. They can also help change the pace of a lesson, so can settle them down, pep them up, or wear them out. And very importantly, they help to bring down learners' affective filters. Happy activities contribute to a positive learning environment. So a song or a rhyme should suit the student's age group and interests. It should match their level of English, so as not to be too easy or too challenging. They should match your lesson objectives and have a catchy, easy-to-remember melody. Some tips for using songs. Sentences should be repeated throughout the song. They shouldn't be too long, About 2 to 3 minutes should be enough. Listen for opportunities to reinforce concepts during the song, and think of ways for concept checking learners' understanding of what they've heard. Use a balance of slow songs mixed with fast ones. However, there are some things to watch out for. Songs can be very fast for learners, so do bear their abilities in mind. Songs can also contain slang or ungrammatical sentences, for example, he don't. They can also have difficult vocabulary that even upper intermediate students will not understand. So you do need to know your learners quite well and be able to discern what songs and chants would be most effective in the classroom and be fun and present the right amount of challenge, and not be so difficult as to demotivate your learners. So, how do we stage a lesson using songs and chants? Play songs as background music first. You can do this as students enter the classroom or while they're doing an activity. They will start learning the tune without even thinking about it and might start humming or singing along. When you hear a song on the radio for the first time, you don't start singing along with it right away. You hear it a few times, and before you know it, even if you haven't been actively listening, you soon find yourself singing along. Nobody teaches you the song. If you play the song as background music as students enter the classroom, or while they are doing a quiet activity, they will start learning the tune without even thinking about it. Then, when you start teaching the song in class, you will be able to focus more on the words. For example, if you plan to introduce a song in class, play the song on repeat in the background as the students are doing a sorting activity, making craft or coloring. Often, the children will start humming or singing the song on their own after hearing it once or twice, especially if the song is at their level. Remember, input comes before output. Listening comes before speaking, or in this case, singing. Don't expect your students to sing the songs right away. The first time or two that you play a new song, ask the students to listen and to do the gestures with you. You can also do simple activities such as passing a ball around or playing rhythm instruments in time with the music. As they do this, they'll be learning the song. After 1 or 2 times, without any prompting from you, you'll likely find them singing along. If you're not that confident with singing, then you will need to find a recorded version. The downside of a recorded version is that you will be less connected to the song, and the activity might feel less spontaneous. The upside is that you will have backing music, and so the song might be more lively. You can also emphasize the last words of each line. In the future, the students can start filling in the blanks, which you can help them with if needed. If the song is an action song, the children can watch you do the actions the first time and join in with you as soon as they feel ready. So some songs don't need much teaching. When using active songs or songs with lots of repetition, you don't need to do much pre-teaching. For example, to introduce an action verb song like head, shoulders, knees, and toes, start by making a circle with the students. Play the song and do the actions together. Don't worry if the students don't know the words right away. They'll have fun doing the actions and will learn the meaning by following you. Next time, use the song again and encourage the kids to sing along. They will eventually know the words and actions. So here are some teaching tips for using songs and chants in the classroom. For your young learners, start with short rhymes or chants. Make sure you connect to your context so that the song doesn't feel out of place in the lesson. Make sure the students understand the gist of the song. Play with the sounds. Get the learners to speak softly or shout loudly. Use very simple instruments for rhythm, such as drums, tambourines, triangles, or shakers. And encourage the students to sing outside of school as well as in the classroom. There's nothing to stop you from using songs with adult learners. And the plus side of this is you can use songs from popular culture, those which are quite current, and perhaps songs you and your learners actually like. Of course, it is best to refrain from songs with controversial lyrics and language to avoid potentially causing embarrassment or offense. If you look at the stages for a listening lesson in your course handbook, you can always treat the song as you would any other audio material and follow the lesson staging accordingly. It is useful to note here that you should not give the lyrics out straight away. Pause the video and discuss with your partner or think on your own, why is that? Because, with the lyrics, the lesson turns into a reading lesson. The students will not be practicing their listening skills. You can use the lyrics, but later on in the lesson. So some activities that you can do before playing the song could be ask your learners to discuss the title and make predictions about what the song could be about. Watch the video clip without sound first and get the learners to predict what the song is about. Pre-teach the Lexis and have learners listen out for the Lexis in the song to notice how it is used. Some other types of gist activities could include having pictures prepared that match certain verses in terms of theme, which the students have to put in order as they hear them, or choosing the best title for a song, or getting an overall understanding of the story of the song from the lyrics. At some point, after you have done some listening exercises related to the song, you can get the learners to listen to it again, but this time give them the chance to read the lyrics. At this point, you might do one or more of the following activities. Learners can just read the lyrics while they listen. They can possibly highlight unknown words for later discussion. You can make a lyric worksheet as a gap fill. Learners fill in the gaps as they listen. You can make cutout strips of selected missing words, and again, make a lyric worksheet as a gap fill. This time, learners match the word strips to the gaps as they listen. You can focus on a particular verb tense or aspect of grammar. Virtually every song centers on a particular verb tense. This is too good an opportunity to pass up in terms of uncovering the grammar. My suggestion is to start with questions such as these. How many examples can you find of the past simple in the lyrics? Why did the writer of this song choose this verb tense? Other ways of exploiting songs are the following. Listen and put the verses in the right order. Put the verbs in brackets in the correct tense or form of the verb, for example, gerund or infinitive. Identify the past tenses in the song, or any other tense or grammar topic, for example, conditionals, modal verbs, reported speech. Put the underlined words under the right column according to some kind of aspect of pronunciation, or vocabulary related to any specific category, or a grammatical pattern. You could also ask your learners to complete the blanks with the words in the box. Listen and choose the right word. Answer the questions. Match the verses. Check the words that you hear. Reorder the verses. Reorder the letters. Correct the words or mistakes. Question the theme, the message, or meaning of the song to encourage discussion. Write to the protagonist and give advice or tell him what you think. Write the story in the song. The last three are good extension activities to the listening lesson, as they encourage the learners to apply what they have listened to in either some kind of real-world context, such as giving advice or expressing his or her opinions, and or getting them to think beyond the language covered in the song. Follow-up activities should round things off with some kind of creativity. Creativity is an important part of maintaining motivation, but it shouldn't be limited to the teaching approach. Depending on factors such as the learner's ages, language levels, cultural specifics, etc., you might want to try finishing things off with an activity that stimulates creative thought. Here are a few examples of things you can do to get the creative juices flowing. Write another verse of lyrics, maintaining the same mood and style as the original. This can be done individually or in groups. These new lyrics can be presented to the rest of the class. Perhaps several groups can work on this to come up with a completely new set of lyrics for the whole song. A song tends to give you the perspective of the singer. Write a response. This can be a paragraph, i.e., not necessarily in lyric form, from the point of view of the person the song is being sung about, or any other protagonist. Have the learners plan a music video for the song. In groups, they decide the location, the characters, and what happens. Then each group explains their idea to the rest of the class, and the learners vote on the best one. The results can be surprising, as they frequently come up with an interpretation that hadn't even occurred to you. Write a diary entry for a character in the song. Get learners to examine the thoughts and feelings that inspired the story being played out in the lyrics. One resource we have found that is quite useful for young learners is Chants by Carolyn, which contain exercises to help learners notice and practice the stress-timed rhythm of English. Type in Jazz Chants Carolyn into any search engine, and there you'll find a wealth of resources, some even of Carolyn herself, putting these exercises into action, which you can look at for reference. The ultimate goal is for your learners to eventually transfer this rhythmic way of chanting into their everyday English speech and communication. Now here's an exercise for you. Take this chant by Carolyn, and with your group, outline what you would do in a lesson that would use this. What would you do prior to introducing this chant? Then, how would you introduce it, and what would you have the students do? What would a good follow-up activity be? Have one representative from each group post your ideas where instructed. Finally, here are some websites for you to look at. These can be found in the weekly task forum for this week's inputs. And some more sites here, but these ones have sound files. Although, of course, you may have and wish to use your own material, but do ensure these are graded and are appropriate for your learners. In the next section, work with your group or partner to ask and answer any questions that you may still have after watching the video. Organize your notes and highlight the key information about what you have covered in the songs and chants input. Prepare your questions and any comments that you want to raise with your group. In addition, you may have a lot to share on this input in terms of activities you have used in your classes that have worked well. We'd love to hear them, either on the platform or during the next OT. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.